Welcome back to the Drop Set Podcast. I'm your host, Isaiah Miranda. We got Steve
Oreo.
And today's guest is a very special guest. He's been an OG for 10 to 12 years. You might know him as BroScience, Mike Tornabene. I'm pronouncing the last name,
yeah,
right?
You got it.
Okay,
yeah,
Mike Tornabene or Dom Mazzetti. I personally know you as Mike Tornabene, but thank you for coming on the podcast.
Of course, thanks
Shout
for
out
having me,
Dom.
guys.
Yeah,
Shout out Mike.
So shout out Mike. So as I said, you've been in the industry for how long exactly?
13 years.
Jeez.
13 years.
My first viral video was October 2010.
That's crazy. And what channel was that on?
Dom Mazzetti.
Dom Mazzetti.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to, that's your, not alter ego name, but that's your persona name?
Yeah, I mean, alter ego, persona,
Yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
want to call it. Yeah.
Where'd it come from?
It came from a prank phone call me and some buddies were doing
Did
when
it?
we were younger. Yeah,
How?
We always had that voice we would do, the accent. You're from Jersey. You just
Yeah, the Jersey accent.
Imitate dumb shit. And so we were on a phone call and we're like, what's your name? Like, Dom Mazzetti. And it just kind of stuck. And then we just kind of called each other that for a while. Yeah,
that's crazy. And I feel like I was watching a couple other podcasts that you're on, and people only knew you as Dom Mazzetti for a while, right?
Yeah, no one knew my real name until late 2014, 15 maybe?
Damn, so 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Was it when that Facebook video was made, or the AOL video? Remember what
that was
I'm talking
the
about?
first time people were like, that saw who I was beyond it.
Yeah.
And then I was like,
Wait, I don't know the video. What's the video?
That's how I bring this up to you all the time. I'm like, I watched this video, and it was basically his day in the life of how he makes the videos, and then it introduces him to Mike Tornabene. And for me, I remember the first time I met you was at a meetup at a park that Brad was having. And I remember meeting you, and I feel like you get this a lot, but people probably think you're going to be in character.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought. I was like, is he going to be in character? How would I say, like, it was my first time meeting him.
Yeah.
So, but no, he was just,
Wait, were you in character?
No. I've tried it, like, first time I did, like, an expo was, I think, the Arnold. And that was my first time, like, doing a meetup and meeting people, and I wasn't sure if I should try to be in character when I met people, because I'd never done this before.
Yeah.
And so I was like attempting to remain in character and talking to them.
That's a hard thing to do for hours
like
and hours.
10 hours. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I was
it's
like,
the Arnold.
I gave up on it. But
Wait, so did you start in character, then like little by little, like every hour, like
I
the
just
accent
gave up.
faded a little bit?
Like, it was the same photo, like the same flexing photo. I was making the face and everything, and by the end of it, like I had like a lazy eye. I was, like, my arm hurt. I was like, this is a lot of work to just.
Yeah.
I can't just like take a smiling photo because they didn't know that side of me.
Yeah,
And they're
yeah.
expecting like a douchebag photo. So I had
That's
to
so
deliver.
funny.
Yeah.
And this is at the LA Fit Expo?
This was at the Arnold.
The Arnold,
In
you said. Okay.
2015.
Yeah, which
2015.
is huge. The Arnold is
Yeah.
one of the biggest.
So let's take it back real quick. How you guys met? What year?
Well, I met him. That was the first time I met him, but I didn't, I guess, meet Mike on a personal level until 2017 when you started coming to Zoo.
Yeah.
That's when you were like filming a lot more often there, and I started seeing you there, and then eventually, obviously, we moved into the house.
Yep.
Which we
Yeah,
can
for
talk
you guys that
about.
don't know, we actually were all roommates, which is crazy, right? Like it
Circa-
feels almost like euphoric or just like I don't know the.
Circa, what was it? 2020.
It was 2019
2020.
to 20, like halfway through 2021.
Well, 2019, yeah, but they came in. You came 2020.
2020, that when peak COVID.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to ask you that. Did you know I was moving in the house, or was it
No.
kind of just like I just showed up and you were like,
No,
who the
man.
fuck is this kid?
I didn't know anything, man. We
Yeah,
were just
that
like
week.
the world had shut down. We were living in like an influencer hostel. And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
because I was just living out there in the pool house, and then, you guys just came out to like visit.
I just came. It was just a 4-day trip, and then ended
Yeah.
up just me and my videographer best friend Chris ended up just staying.
I figured at some point I was like, oh, so they're like moving in.
Well, I
Yeah.
think I told you that week. I was like, oh, by the way, Mike,
I
Isaiah.
know, what did you think?
I was just
On his first opinion reaction, we were friendly, we were cool.
Yeah.
But we didn't. I feel like get close until like the end before you moved out. You know what I mean?
No, you were cool, man. I mean, you're like good energy. You're fun. You
Yeah.
know, you're like, I was more like, this made sense to just like people be like an influencer.
It's funny though. You kind of stood to the back because he lived in the back house. So you
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
stood to the back house a lot.
Yeah.
The only time he would ever come out is when he smelled me making steaks.
Yeah.
Every time I was making steaks, I swear to
Mike
God,
would
he would
come
just
in,
he would
yeah.
just
I
come
do
pretend
remember
like
that.
he's checking the mail, go to
I
his
do
car,
remember
and then he's like, "Yeah, what are you doing over there?" I'm like,
he's like,
"Just
what's
making
cooking
steaks." I'm
over
like,
here?
"You want some?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." I'll take it.
I wouldn't want to.
Yeah, I can down with the grill though, right?
Yeah, you do. The
Yeah.
steaks are good.
They were good steaks.
That was a fun. It was a fun time. How long were you living in that pool house for?
2019.
Like a year and a half.
Oh, not too long.
Yeah, like I got my house in August 2021, and I moved in there October 2019.
Where'd you come from?
I was living in Hermosa for a year, and then before that, I was in Marina Del Rey.
Okay, but before that, if people don't know, you're actually from East Coast.
Yeah, so I grew up in New Jersey.
Jersey boys.
Yeah, went to NYU, so 4 years in New York, and then I lived 4 years after school in Manhattan.
Would you study at NYU?
Film and television.
Okay, oh, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, NYU's a good school.
Yeah, it's one of the best in the world
Yeah,
for film and television.
yeah.
But, you know.
So do you accredit a lot of your success, obviously, with the content creating and all that to NYU, or do you think you could have done it yourself?
He's like, no.
That's the ironic thing. It's like one of the best film schools in the world. When I got there, I was like, I do not belong here.
Yeah.
And they made you feel that way too.
So was it almost like, wait, like you don't belong there because it was so much harder than you thought, or because you're like, I know so much more than these people?
No, it was more like it was all like about film. It was very pretentious. Like everyone wanted to be a director, like their favorite, director, Hitchcock, and all these things. And so I remember freshman year, I was sitting at the table for this bullshit, essay class we had to take, like one of the mandatory classes, and everyone went around the room like saying their favorite movie, and everyone's saying these like artsy films, like critically acclaimed, this and that.
What'd you say?
Get to me, I said Old School.
Yeah.
And the guy looked at me like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't belong here. But like the reality was I was just there to I wanted to write comedy.
Yeah.
I didn't want to do anything else, and that was it. And like for the beginning of that, probably the first year or two, I felt like I didn't belong.
You didn't belong.
Yeah, and that I remember having a teacher that actually like specifically made me feel that way.
Really?
Yeah,
How, just like kind of looking down on you, or what?
That type of thing happened a lot. Like it was, I said Old School. He's like, really? And then a couple other things. Like this was 2006, so there were. God, it's so fucking old.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. You sound old as shit right now. Like,
there was no like Netflix and shit. So if you had to find a movie, you had to go to like a local like Blockbuster Hollywood Video.
I remember Blockbuster.
And I remember we had to pick a director off a list and choose 3 other movies to write this like essay about. And this assignment was given over Thanksgiving break. And so, if you're still at school, we have this huge library. You can pick any film, whatever. But you have to do this at home. And I live in like suburban New Jersey, so we have like a Hollywood Video that has like, what you would expect.
Yeah.
It doesn't have like the whole catalog of these directors, films. So I picked the Coen brothers, and I picked 3 films that were available, and they were their, more like popcorn films.
Yeah, yeah.
So we go around the room, we come back again. It's like the go around the room, say what you did type of thing. It's like just a chance to look down at me. So everyone's saying their films they picked, whatever, and he gets to me.
Trying to sound all prestigious and like all classy and shit.
And he gets to me, and I say the 3 I picked, and he's like, "Wow, you picked the 3 worst films of that director." And I was like, "Bro, it's the only 3 they had in like Clinton, New Jersey." I'm like, "Quit sweating me." And another time, I wrote this essay, and it's just like this is a weird class. It's not very like easy to understand. And he graded my paper and wrote a very generous C-.
He wrote that on there?
Yeah. And I went up to him to like talk to him about it after class, and he actually like rolled his eyes at me. He's like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yo, never mind." I was like, "Never mind, man. Like I don't care. Like I'm just gonna take it." And he tried to like make it up to me later. I was like,
that's my thing about school though. It's because I mean, obviously I dropped out. You dropped out. You finished, but like, why does he get a very generous C-? Like, what if another person could have read that or whatever and said this is an A+? It's just so like. It's so like one-sided, just like how they're feeling. You know what I mean? Because it could have been the greatest thing in the world.
I mean, it's not like it was a math test. It wasn't like this is objectively wrong. It's just he has some sort of authority of this is, and really it was a very abstract class, which is why it was difficult. Like I don't understand what I'm doing wrong here. Like I have no idea what's going on. This has nothing to do with what I want to do.
Yeah.
But
so what made you finish, or want to finish the 4 years?
Just felt like it was the right thing to do. Yeah, I mean, at
the time, any thought about dropping out at all?
I did after the first 2 years, but like, mind you, at this time there's not options, media, right? Like, it didn't like Instagram wasn't invented. No one was making money on the internet. I didn't have the option to just be like, oh, I'm going to do something on my own. It was I wanted to pursue filmmaking. I wanted to be a writer, so I had to figure out a way to get in traditionally, and I figured the best way to do that was to stick out school and make connections and just go that route, because it carries some weight to say you graduated from NYU or whatever that comes with. Sure. And I just didn't know what another option was. But in the meanwhile, I'm just working on my own outside of school, like writing scripts, trying to like sell them, trying to you know, do all this stuff.
So you always knew you wanted to do it?
Since the day I got there, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
But do you think that experience with dealing with the professors helped you in terms of like motivation or inspire you to do things your own way? Or were you like, did it do anything in terms of like shifting your mindset?
It might have just made me a little bit more firm on like my beliefs on what I'm doing, because I know like I was not going to be swayed from what I want, and the fact that they were like alienating me made me be like, yeah, I'm doing something different. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah. Like I know what I want to do, and I'm going to stick to it. So I think it maybe indirectly motivated me to work outside of class. Like I just went to class to get the grades and whatever knowledge was available to me. But I was like, I'm going to gain most of my value here from working outside of school, writing scripts, doing my craft, and using this time as like 4 years before I have to enter the workforce. And that was like the most valuable part of it. Like I had this time to hone my craft because I started early, and I had this time that I didn't need to have these responsibilities of just jumping into the workforce at like, 19. I can do that a little bit later. And then there was some valuable things I learned in the at school, but not really knowing how to apply them. You don't really know what's valuable when it comes to it. So that's why, like, if I went back now, I'd get way more value out of it because I know exactly
how to apply it
what I'm looking for. But it's just kind of hard when you're like a kid and you don't really know what it's going to turn into, and you're like, I'm assuming this is going to help. And I think most people use that to find what they want to do. I knew what I wanted to do, and I took a lot of writing classes, so I like learned from that. But
that's so you wouldn't change it going NYU?
No, I mean, I think things worked out pretty good.
Because I always think everything happens for a reason. You know what I mean? And those are one of those moments in your life that you probably needed it to get you to where you're at now. Because I mean, we're also called the Drop Set Podcast. We want to know like little moments in your life, like what was the drop set that like changed this or sparked that? You know what I mean? So that could be one of those moments.
That's one of those.
Yeah. There's it's especially when you get famous on the internet. At that time, it was all a series of things coming together at the right time, and just happened to work out.
So let's talk about when was Dom Mazzetti born? You said 2010.
The first thing I did was write a script with that character in probably junior year. It was just
college?
Was that for college or just outside?
For college? It was for like a sketch comedy class, and I wrote the character into the script, and it was originally like a middle-aged Italian like OG burrito with a cooking show, and then later, after I graduated, I thought it was a good character to use in one of the sketches I had the idea for it, and it altered completely from what it was, but the same sort of persona was used. Yeah,
that's awesome. And then when you graduated, did you go full force into the social media? So you graduated what year?
I graduated 2010.
2010.
So
so you graduated and your first viral video was 2010.
6 months later, yeah.
Oh, that's a big year.
That's crazy.
Right?
It was, yeah. I mean,
How viral are we talking to?
It was a slow viral. So it was like me and my buddy Guion, my business partner at the time, so we knew we wanted to like write scripts together. So we graduated, we went back home, we did a bunch of odd jobs to get cash to like move back to the city. And we're like, all right, we're going to move here and we're going to work, and then on the side we're going to write, and we're going to try to sell scripts, and we're going to make these YouTube sketches to get our name out there. And so we were just trying anything, right? Like we didn't know that YouTube was a way to make a living. We didn't know what could come of it.
Because I was going to ask, why YouTube? Like, were people doing it already? Did you see other sketch people doing it?
Yeah, there were like sketch comedians that like you would have a couple sketches, and then maybe they would blow up and get a job on SNL or something like that.
Okay, so people were doing it kind of already.
They were doing it in a way that like we thought was the way to do it, where you would just get your name out there. No one stayed on YouTube. No one wanted to be a YouTuber. There's like a few people doing it. So we're just like, yeah, this will be it. Well, people will see the sketches and
get
it's
your
sort
name
of
out
like,
there, and then could book you, whatever.
Like a business card, like, oh, these guys are good, like a resume. And it's like, let's read what they have. And then it just kind of, went from like 1,000 views to 10,000 views to 100,000 views, and it was like slowly climbing. And they're like, all right, let's make another one. Same thing. All right, another one. Same thing. Like, all right, now we're on to something.
Yeah.
So
and what channel is this on?
Dom Mazzetti still.
Okay.
The OG.
Yeah.
Dom Mazzetti. Okay. And did any of them hit 1 million? Because like at that time, what's really viral at that time? Because now you see videos like 10 million,
that time
20 million.
A lot of them hit 1 million.
Okay, so that's like viral at the time.
The crazy thing is, this is gonna get a little technical, but like we had started the channel originally called Mike and Guion.
Yeah.
And we uploaded the first 3 Dom Mazzetti verse videos to that channel. And they hit about 300,000 views a piece.
That's good.
And we had a decent amount of subscribers on the channel. And then around December, we got linked up with a guy that started Full Screen. Do you guys know like the MCMs?
Oh, I
Yeah,
love Full
yeah,
Screen,
yeah.
yeah.
So he started Full Screen, and this was before like they had any clients. And he was like, "You guys can actually make money on YouTube being a partner. In order to do that, I can make you a partner by joining, you know, this thing called the
Full Screen,
network."
yeah.
And this is before like any of them really existed. And it's like, "Yeah, that sounds great." And so we signed up, and he's like, "All right, but here's my advice: you got to start another channel and call it Dom Mazzetti." I'm like, "Dude, we just worked so hard to get these fucking 3 videos.
Yeah.
You want us to just do it again?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, like it should be called Dom Mazzetti. It should be this is it?" Like, okay. So we started another channel, and we re-uploaded those videos, and they kept
Same
uploading.
videos re-uploaded them?
Same videos, re-uploaded them, and then kept doing videos afterwards. And as soon as those first 3 videos on the Dom Mazzetti channel eclipsed the original 3, we deleted the original 3.
Oh,
So they're
shit.
gone now.
Yeah,
We had to go viral twice.
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
and start over.
It's
again.
hard enough
Yeah.
to go viral once for people.
Yeah, especially in 2010.
Yeah. And
So,
to do it twice,
yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is pretty good.
Yeah, right? That's insane. And then when did BroScience life come?
December 2012.
So 2 years later.
Yep.
Okay. And what sparked that?
Was into fitness and was seeing that it was becoming very popular, and there was a lot of, you know, bodybuilding.com culture and like tutorial videos.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be a funny idea of
Let
like,
me just make fun of them.
yeah, like making fun of like not exactly how to work out, but like
Yeah.
how to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like
No, it's great. And it's funny too because I mean I was talking to you, I was talking to Noel a couple days ago, Chris, and I'm like, I think I'm like the only one that does gym sketches. Like I started the gym sketches, right? But then I thought about you and I'm like, wait,
No,
you
I was
actually
like, I was literally
Like,
saying,
you
I was like,
actually
you were the
started
one.
gym sketches.
Yeah.
You know,
I was like,
but like
you're the one that
long form
started
gym
it.
sketches,
Yeah.
which is probably even harder.
Yeah.
So I got to give my respect to you because you
OG,
know,
man.
yeah,
All
he
of
really
them
is
do.
the OG.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing like short sketches? You don't do short form sketches.
I just chop my stuff up in a reels.
Yeah.
And that does well on Instagram.
Yeah, good. And for any of you guys that don't know, because I mean I know you personally lived with you, your sketches are so thoroughly written out, and like you don't. I mean, you post like once every in a blue moon, but but it's like almost one your brand and two you kind of make fun of it, but it's because you spend so much time making sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, you start. So how does that start? Walk me through the process.
So I'll think about a couple of different things, like mainly like what I want to talk about, and that's like the best place to come from. It's a little bit harder now that I've been doing it for so long because it's not so many things I want to talk about or so many things I have left to say. So you also think about what's trending, what are other people talking about, what's like a popular thing, and the part of like what do I want to talk about is like if I have something I want to roast or something that's like, oh, there's this thing that people do, I just really want to talk about it, like that makes for the best script. So
like fake natties, for example.
Yeah, like when I did like the influence, like the worst influencer chart, I was
so
like,
funny.
I was like, I'm just got so tired of all this shit. I was like, they need to be roasted, and there's always something to say. So I break it down into what am I dissecting here? Like there's always a psychological component to it of like, why are people behaving this way?
Yeah.
Like, why do I behave this way? Why do I do this? Why do I do that? And I think the gym is just a metaphor for like just how people act in life, and that's really what it comes to. And there's a lot of metaphor in what I do. So I'll start there with a topic, and I'll think like, what are the real points I can like wrap around this? Like, what do people want to hear? Like, what do I have to say? And then I'll break it down into like, sections, paragraphs. Like, all right, here's the intro, and I just have a formula for how it's done, and I just start writing it. And it's hard to describe, but I think about the thing I want to say, and then there's a variety of different joke structures I can use, and I'm like, all right, I want to talk about this, and if I use a metaphor here, this word, what's a funny comparison? Okay, these two things. All right.
That's the one thing I would say I think you're so good at is like the comparisons.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're just so like you can tell you actually sit down and just write. You like actually think and make sure it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, like
That's
an
why
actual
the delivery so
almost
good.
like a stand-up comedian. You know how it's like so timed out and they
Yeah.
just know their craft. That's how like every video is.
Yeah. Every sentence is a joke. Every single sentence has
Every
a joke
single
in it.
that's what I noticed.
Every one of them. Like, I mean, even in stand-up comedy, there's like bridges in the stories to like the punchline. Like every sentence has a punchline.
Yeah, which is crazy, and I give so much respect because most people would probably see it right and be like, oh, it's just a dumb YouTube video that probably took 20 minutes to make.
No, they don't.
But they have no idea though.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
Yeah.
Which is insane. What's your favorite all-time sketch or BroScience video?
There's too many.
There's one of the. It's hard. I don't really think back on them too much, so it's hard to remember what like the funniest ones were. One of the most ridiculous ones was how to make a girl squirt. That was was fucking like the fact that I did that. I was
as far as I didn't get demonetized or anything.
Oh, it did.
Oh, it did.
Yeah,
okay.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
That one was just the fact that I decided to do it was just hilarious in itself, and the video turned out so fucking funny. I had people DMing me at like both girls and guys being like, "Thank you so much for the video." Like,
you probably helped out a lot of people.
Yeah, the girls be like, "You saved my relationship."
That's so funny.
Do people still come up to you about the video?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It's not up anymore.
Oh, you took it down?
I took it down because I had to. I had a deal with a company that basically bought my back catalog of videos for the ad revenue, and they're like, "You have to take this down." I'm like, "I don't want to." And they're like, it risks the whole channel being demonetized.
Yeah.
like it's gotta go. I re-uploaded it to Instagram though.
Oh, did you? I gotta watch it again.
So that one was just funny in itself. There's a couple others that were just really, really well done. That the Is Lifting Gay video.
That one's hilarious.
The title, I was like, this is so funny. It's like, again, there's something I wanted to talk about where oftentimes you have these, gym bros, these douchebags and meatheads, like being the first to like be like, oh, that dude's gay, and just be like, oh, you being whatever, like just like putting people down, not realizing that the stuff they do can,
can be a little.
Yeah, it can be a little bit like, dude, are you sure you know, like, what are you saying here, man? Like, and so I was like, this is a very sensitive subject because I know who I'm making fun of, and this is why like I can do these things and not like get canceled because like the target is not gay people. The target is people who
make fun of gay people
who are or being homophobic and not realizing they're also being hypocritical.
Yeah.
And it's like you're not seeing what you're doing. Like what you do is all about the male body. This and that. The things that you would make fun of somebody for, you're exactly doing yourself. These people can't see what they're doing. It's like this is gonna be such a funny Venn diagram where like. It seems like what's the difference? Like, is it? And then it's all on one side, and it was just like a very funny idea, and the title itself was good. So there's that.
Do you ever get worried with making your content? Because obviously you're pretty raw and unfiltered in a lot of your videos. Do you ever get worried about like, future brands? Like that one brand was like, you have to take it down because it might get demonetized. Like, do you ever get worried that like you can't work with certain companies because they'll find a video like, I don't want to be attached to this?
No, I don't care.
I mean, because you're also going to be your own brand too.
Yeah, I mean,
Speaking of your own brand, he has it on it. I feel like I should have wore it.
Yeah, right.
I fucked up. God damn it. You should have brought me. I'm waiting for my care package.
I don't have
right.
Yeah, right?
I'm waiting for mine too.
Yeah, we'll get into that too.
Yeah.
Actually, we can just get into it now. You're not only obviously an amazing, content creator, but you're a brand owner. You're an owner of a brand, Shell Corp, which is on. It's what he has on. It's what he has on. And the quality, I was telling you at the party yesterday, and just me and you talking, like the quality is amazing. You know what I mean? And the designs are sick and everything. And what sparked that? I've
been doing clothing and merchandise for BroScience and Dom Mazzetti for like 10 years, and it was the most successful, revenue.
Probably biggest revenue, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so I was like, all right, this
you do great with the things like the Only Games, stuff like that.
They do well. They sell.
Yeah, or the Corona one. What was that one? Brodello. Yeah. You just okay.
So yeah, it was my biggest success revenue wise, and I was looking at where I wanted to take the next steps in my career and my life. I had been doing Dom Mazzetti, BroScience for like 10 years, and I at some point I want to stop. Like I've done it, I've said the things I want to say.
Because you love it, but you don't want to film the same videos for 20 years, right?
And I as a creative, like there's other things that inspire me that I want to do, but I also need to make a living. So I'm like, what can I do that I can monetize, that can be successful, that also satisfies me creatively and speaks to the voice that I have and want to express, but my skills as well. And it was I was like, all right, clothing, and what do you have to do in order to get a clothing brand off the ground? You have to advertise it. Yeah. Great at advertising. I know how to make media. I know how to market. I know how to sell things, and I love art and I love design. So I was like, I can put all of this into one thing that I'm good at, I'm passionate about, and that can be successful and earn me a living.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what sparked it.
Yeah, and I was like, I want to start an actual clothing brand.
Do you think you're as passionate as the clothing brand as content creating?
I am.
Or just a whole different, like...
Right now, I'm more passionate about the clothing brand.
I could tell. Yeah. Because even with the ads you do for it, I mean, I'm sure you could say, too, the ads are great ads.
Oh, thank you.
I was watching one of their BTS videos on, like, a day at Shell Corp. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys put so much into it.
Yeah, man. I mean, you see how I work. Like, everything I do, I put all of it into it. And, it's good. Like I feel.
How's the growth been going?
Great, man. I mean, it's been a struggle learning a new business. Like this is very much the reverse of what I've done, where it was like entertainment first, sell clothing on the side. Now it's clothing first, and then you make entertainment on the side. And now it's, with everything we make is custom, like cut and sew. There's no blanks. It's not like we just order this and print on that. Like I design the stuff myself. We want to make sure the fit's right, the quality. So a lot goes into that. And then you have to order inventory, and you have to make sure, there's cash flow and that it moves and that you get the production and the employees. I'm like, all right, now I'm running a business.
Yeah.
I'm not just like.
You're a full business owner.
Full
It's crazy.
scale.
Yeah.
Full scale. What are your plans, I guess, for Shell Corp, since I guess a lot of clothing brands now have this once a month drop?
Yeah.
Is that something that you want to do, or is it more just kind of, hey, I'm putting out something that I generally want to drop, but it doesn't have to be every month. It's when when the brand is ready.
We're building up a cadence that works for us. Like right now, it's as a new brand and a lot of things. They're making the stuff, you get delays and you don't realize how long it takes. Yeah. And so you're like, oh yeah, I want to do a drop every month. And you're like, oh, this one thing went wrong. Guess what? You're not going to get it for 6 months. And you're like, I got to figure this all out. So we're still working through all that. But the idea is to do one like every 45 days right now. I think that's a good cadence for us. Every month it might be too quick. And,
every month's a lot. Yeah. Especially, because I work with a clothing company. And even like me keeping up with the drops, like because promoting them every month, it's like it's kind of like fuck, like, another drop.
It's hard to keep up with.
And you have to think too, like people, they don't have endless money they can just buy every month. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So it's always trying to find a new audience, and sometimes I think less is more.
Yeah.
Not when you want for quality. But that's the trajectory I was telling you at the party. It's like because you were at the party, you should want to be there and then beat them.
I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Man. I mean, I know I'm very confident in what we do, and it's just we're working through. The growing stage, and it's going well, but...
well, congrats, you moved down to your warehouse, right?
Yeah, man.
4,000 square feet?
I think it's just under 3.
Under 3?
Yeah.
That's a big size warehouse. What's your plan on growing and scaling?
Yeah, so we're trying to get athletes, it's a difficult space. There's a lot of competition. A lot of people have brands already. A lot of people have a lot of money to throw at athletes. So a lot of different things we're working on. Right now, we're trying to find some people that work with the brand well. One of the things that I infused in the brand is I grew up skateboarding and picked it back up. And I was like, I want to make that part of the brand identity and also tap into that culture because they are, trendsetters when it comes to fashion. But
for sure,
the same way that Young LA and all these other brands use bodybuilders and fitness people for affiliates, like I want to do that same thing with skateboarders and fashion.
Whole different market.
Yeah, and it's unproven, so it might not sell. Like we know fitness people convert, so we're still trying to go after those, but they're not as available. So that's one. The other is just working on the brand itself, like making sure that first and foremost the designs, the
designs
quality,
are great.
Yeah, that it's like it speaks for itself and that it can grow on its own merit.
Yeah.
And then I have my own channels and stuff that I promote. So it's I gotta be the affiliate. I gotta be the manager.
You fucking do everything. So it happens when you don't own a business, right?
I was like,
so it happens.
Then I gotta do it again for BroScience.
Yeah.
With a different personality.
Yeah, completely different.
Are you still doing the BroScience merch still?
Yeah. It's all going to the same warehouse.
Oh damn! So you have a lot on your plate.
Yeah, your BroScience merch kills though, right?
Yeah, it does well.
Fuck, I can't even imagine. So, would you say you have from my eyes, you have a very loyal following, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. A lot of people we're still small when it comes to Shell Corp and stuff. So, but a lot of people buy like the entire drop.
Oh, for Shell Corp.
Yeah. BroScience, very loyal following, but that has a bigger reach because it's it's been around longer. It's a bigger channel, and also just because of the novelty of the stuff.
Yeah.
It's easier to buy. It's less expensive.
Stuff,
yeah. To be relevant and to be doing social media for 10 to 12 years is crazy.
Yeah. It's
how long does it feel?
Dude, it feels
like
I've
been doing it for 3 years and I'm like, I've been doing this shit for a while.
Yeah. It feels like forever, but at the same time it just feels like another day. Like I'm just been doing this for as long as I can remember. Yeah, man.
Was there ever a point where you're like, damn, I don't know if I want to do this anymore?
Yeah, tons of times. I mean, like it's definitely in 2017 I was like, I don't really know what I want to do with all this. I never really wanted to be an influencer or like famous even for that matter. I just kind of backed into it, and there's a lot of times I don't really feel like being on or like being on camera or like putting my life out there.
But people that don't realize when you're on social media, you always have a camera in your face.
Yeah, and like I'm not the type that's always like vlogging my day or posting stories. Like I didn't really grow up that way because it wasn't around.
Yeah.
And so I just don't really have that personality type. But I know it's part of my brand, and I have to do that to make it successful. So I was just like balancing, what I do enjoy doing and what I'm good at versus like what I have to do. But yeah, it can be pretty tiring, man.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
You look back on it, and I'm like, I have the last 13 years of my life documented.
Which is pretty cool, though.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, right? You know what I mean? You can look back and be like, damn, I did that. Or damn, that video was hilarious.
You also inspired a bunch of these new wave of fitness creators.
Yeah.
Like,
you subconsciously inspired me to do sketch comedy.
Hey, man.
I mean, I wouldn't be here if it
I'm
wasn't for
happy I could, bring some positivity on top
Hell
of it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So you found the balance. Oh, another balance I want to talk about is, I tell you all the time, you're the perfect example of someone that, and I think you agree, that parties and lives life to the fullest, but also is in the best shape, which is crazy. Yeah. Which is so impressive because you're bulking right now, but you still have abs. You look great. You drink probably, I mean, at least you go out often.
Yeah,
right?
probably every weekend.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't want to say it, but you drink like every
day.
Party's hard. Party's hard.
Yeah, you party hard. You drink it. I mean, we've lived with each other, so I know you party.
Yeah,
But then somehow he's doing this, eating whatever, and I'm like, how the fuck does he look that good?
Not eating whatever. He's strict on his diet.
It's sort of like
except for this weekend.
It's kind of like 80-20, but it can move around. Like I eat the same thing pretty much every day, like Monday through Friday. Like I will eat as consistent as I can. I track my macros. A lot of people are like, oh, that's not sustainable. Like, how are you gonna do that forever? I'm like, it's the most sustainable thing for me.
It really is. It's
because
so sustainable.
It's so easy. I know exactly what I'm eating, so that way when Saturday and Sunday and Friday night come around, I know I've been consistent, and I can just go, yeah, I can have this, I can have that, I can have that. If I remember when I stopped tracking, I had no idea. I was like, can I afford to have this? And I would think too much. Like, can I fit this in? Have I eaten right this whole week?
Yeah.
Because I know, because it's consistent, and I see it, I go, yeah, I can fuck off for these next 2 days, and it's not going to affect my body. And then when I go back on Monday, I know exactly how to get it back on track. So I can just make adjustments on the fly, and that allows me to have that balance. If I don't track, if I don't stay consistent, I can't afford to just not. And so that's where the balance comes in, where people think it's like, how you can do that for the rest of your life. It's like, how are you going to just have a complicated relationship with food the rest of your life?
No, 100%. And I'm on like a meal plan right now because I'm prepping and everything. But it's so easy because like you said, you know exactly what you're eating off the thing. Because when you're not, you know how many times I hear my friends stuff like, oh, what should I eat? Oh, I don't know what to eat. You know, they're just thinking about it. I'm like, can I do that? I know exactly. Yeah. Steven Noah, for example, always Postmating. And for me, it's just like, I like what I eat. I like eating, chicken, rice, oatmeal, whatever, fruit, and it's easy for me to sustain. Do I like burgers? And actually, not really burgers. I love wings. Wings is my shit.
Right, you love wings.
I love wings and cookies, but I could do that on the weekend or whenever I want. So you cracked the code.
Yeah, I mean, also you got to think I've been doing this for like 17 years. Like I've been lifting for a long time, and like the joke is that I haven't gained any muscle the entire time I've been in the internet. It's like,
hey, you gained 20 pounds in like 3 months. That's crazy.
I mean, there's some truth to that. Like over time, it's like, you fall out of love with fitness. You sort of your goals
change. Waves, of course,
And like,
with anything.
I've learned so much about what works for me and what doesn't, and I'm 35 now, and I know I've really figured out what works. Like the style of training that works for me, the diet that works for me, like all these things, the lifestyle, the balance. Like I see it working, but I've also had the experience to know what doesn't work, and I've tried all these things, and so it does take a lot of time. And for a while, I would be like, it doesn't really look like I lift. Like I look at stuff, I'm like, I got a pump, it does, but I'm like okay shape. And I'm like just now starting to feel like this is like the best I've ever looked.
No, you look big as fuck. I mean, before we started rolling, you put on 20 pounds in 3-4 months?
No, in like probably like a year.
Oh, yeah? That's still great. That's crazy.
Still good.
And eating 3,900 calories is a lot of fucking calories.
Yeah.
But you're holding it so fucking good. Well, it's on your neck right now.
Yes, I had to get the neck, bro. Too many comments. Be like, you got a pencil neck.
But people say that, but you get that a lot.
Not a lot, but enough.
Enough where it hurt.
I felt it. I was like, it was more like I wanted to do it for myself, right? And I was like, I think I do want a bigger neck. I was like, I got broad shoulders, and I was like,
how do you train it? I
just do a lot of traps.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, deadlifts and traps and whatever. But I just do them like pretty frequently. And I lift heavy. Like everything I do, I lift as heavy as I can.
And you were saying before, 100% natty.
Yep.
You never question.
I never wanted any side effects. 2, I didn't want the look. I didn't really want to look like I was on steroids. Like, of course, you want to be bigger and more jacked, but it also comes with a specific look that I just didn't really want. And also, it's about balance for me. Like, I don't want to do something so severe in one way that like it changes just to look good. That it changes my life. Once you're at the point where you're like sacrificing the rest of your lifestyle just to look big a certain and jacked, it's like, for what? And for me, like some people, fine, but for me, I was like, the reward isn't there enough for me for like the risk. Like I don't.
And also, you're not trying to be a bodybuilder. You don't want to be, Miss Olympia, all that stuff.
I didn't want to, so it wasn't like I was wrestling with like, oh, maybe the side effects won't be bad. I was just like, now, like that's not my goal.
You just want to look good, live life, have fun.
Yeah, I want to live life the way I want to live to a certain degree if that makes sense, and I want to look as good as I can within that, life. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten fake natty comments? Do people like accuse you of being?
No, I get I guess now people are like, oh, he's on TRT because I'm like older and I'm bulking for the first time. I'm actually doing a bulk.
They're going through a midlife crisis.
This is the first bulk I've committed to in 17 years. It's like, hey, why aren't you big? It's like, maybe because I've been doing that bro cycle back and forth, like cut, bulk, cut, leave the abs.
Yeah.
No, it's the running joke is I'm the only guy in fitness that claims to be on steroids. It's not.
That's actually true.
I'm the opposite. I'm always like,
so
just do so much juice, and like I'm the only guy that says the opposite.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Wait, when you first started the bulk, was it hard to see the abs go a little bit?
For sure, because I was so lean before.
Yeah, you're peeled.
Because I was skateboarding I still am now, but at one point over the summer last year, I would skate for like 3 hours a day, and then I would go lift for like 2.
Yeah.
And I was like,
3 hours a day?
Mm-hmm.
Skateboarding? That seems crazy.
Yeah. And so I could not keep weight on, and I was getting so shredded that I had to eat more and more and more calories. So it sort of like reset my metabolism and sort of my baseline of what I ate. So that way, when I started bulking, I can afford to have more protein, more food, and I can just slowly build from there. Where before I was under eating, I didn't have enough protein, and I was like I wasn't as lean, so I didn't have a base to build from, and that kind of reset it so then I can, I know like. I was seeing that, okay, I'm eating more and more and more, and I'm still losing weight. It's like now I know exactly where the line is. I can like add a little bit. So I had a really good baseline to start with, and then my metabolism had reset.
It's high now. It's like it's fucking ramped up.
Yeah.
When does the cut start?
Maybe at 200.
How much are you, 190?
Yeah.
Damn, 10 more pounds? Fuck.
I was thinking about...
Mike might like scary walking around. Don't fuck him at the bar.
Yeah, with this
straight
fucking
meathead.
thick neck.
Yeah, don't. You see him in Santa Monica.
I just want to. Yeah, I just want to see. Like, I was like, I like how this looks.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, and I was like, maybe I'll do like a mini cut, but I'm like, I don't really. I'd rather right now look bigger than.
And you feel stronger, probably. Right, workout's probably great.
My strength shot up like crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And then, any more tattoos?
Yeah, there's still space. Yeah, I got to do the trap still.
You want to be fully tatted?
Yeah.
When did that start?
I've wanted to since I was like 18.
Okay.
I didn't start getting them until I was like 28.
Why did it take so long?
I didn't want to interfere with the character, the acting.
Really?
I was also
that's why I don't have tattoos for acting.
Yeah.
I want a sleeve and all that, but it's just like I'm like because if I have a tattoo and they want someone without a tattoo, they'll take someone without the tattoo.
Right. And I wasn't so much interested in like casting and stuff. I just was like, it was sort of an excuse to not do it because I was mainly afraid of the judgment. I was afraid of like getting it and people being like judging me for the tattoos I got and like it interfering with the character, which it kind of does a little bit, like because they're tattoos that suit me as like myself.
Yeah.
They don't necessarily suit the
character.
And what's funny is like I get compliments all the time on my tattoos in person and on my personal stuff, but I get hate comments on Dom Mazzetti.
Really?
Yeah. People are like,
what the fuck? That's so random.
You look like a school desk. Like, what's with all the meth tattoos? Like, your tattoos are so shitty. And it's like so strange to see. And it's like, it's a very funny dichotomy. But I'm glad I did. I was just like not living for
Do they
myself.
all mean something?
No.
There's some random ones?
Some of them mean something. But like for me, I like to see... I think the truest meaning for something for me is when I look at something and I see it and it speaks to me. I'm like, that's a gut reaction to something that like...
You feel it.
I feel it. Like that for whatever reason connected with me. I like the artwork. It's a visual thing for me. It's like a painting on the wall, right? Like I didn't come up with a meaning for that, but I like it. It speaks to me and I'm going to hang it on my wall.
That's awesome.
So a lot of things I'll see that my artist does in a book or I'll see...
Same artist.
Same artist, yeah.
The whole everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's loyalty.
Shout out Aaron.
That's fucking loyal guy. He's the most loyal guy in the fucking internet.
We're going to open up a tattoo shop together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's sick.
Oh, so that's something in the works?
Yeah.
Nice.
And for you guys who don't know, his whole entire back is tatted. Like completely. And your legs too, right?
The front of the thighs and the front of the shins. So the back of the legs are not done yet, and that's definitely on the to-do list.
Yes.
Yeah. Look like two different people.
Yeah, that's so funny. Would you get I mean, you said you want to be fully tatted. I don't know how it looks like. Because what if you're fully tatted and then your ass cheeks are just bare? Do you like when you get ass cheek tattoos?
You know what
I mean?
Or
the
face
snake
tat.
goes down to the top of my ass. It doesn't go all the way down, but it goes down to like the top of it.
But you want to keep them
I
bare?
actually haven't thought about that.
Right? Because when you're fully tatted, you just have two just bare butt cheeks. A girl might be like, what the fuck?
I think I'd have to.
Yeah, you have to.
Because it already, like, the more you get, the more it stands out. I'm not going to do my abs, though.
Yeah, keep the abs. I wouldn't say the abs.
Yeah, I think like whatever's going on here is going to stay.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, right.
And you said that you kind of held off because you were scared of judgment and stuff.
Yeah.
Is judgment and the fear of other people's opinions, is that always something you struggled with kind of? Or?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I think like everybody does to a degree. Some people are better at it than others. Like it's it's part of the reason I think I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to things. Like, I want to remove any criticism I can. Like, I want to just do it perfectly. And it's like not super healthy, but also it yields some good shit. It's a balance in that. But yeah, like, I think everybody at some point in their life, whether they want to admit it or not, like, they are considering other people's thoughts and opinions. And other people are better at just pushing past it or really not caring. But it's a journey to go through, and you know, I still.
Are you getting better at it?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I'm getting better as I more just lean into who I am. Like, you have to just break through that barrier, because it's just.
It's definitely not an easy thing. It's a hard thing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, especially when you're entire 12 years on social media. You know what I mean? Especially when it's a cruel place.
I know, and like, I've been so lucky to get like very, very minimal hate. Like, and that's because I've been so dialed about how it's done. Like, I like remove any sort of thing, and I just do it. So I was like, I really don't want to expose myself to that, because like, I don't like that feeling. I'm not a person that just like likes to put myself out there, which is such an ironic thing.
Which is funny, because when people look at you, when people look at you, they probably think you're such an extrovert. You know, you love you know, being on camera, all that stuff. But everyone needs their time to be them. You know?
It's all here, man. I'm always thinking, I'm creating. I'm just like, kind of. I do obviously like enjoy. Having a bigger personality when it comes to things I'm passionate about. But it's tough, and you're always like, you don't realize how much time you've spent just getting opinions from other people. Like, imagine, like, most people don't get like why it can be stressful being on the internet, and you're like, imagine you're at work and people are just constantly being like, yo, dude, you look fucking ugly today.
No,
you're like, what the fuck,
that's
man?
literally
like,
what social media is.
You're like, this sucks, man. Like,
comment sections are crazy on social media.
And it's like, it's honestly, for me, it's worth it. Like, that's the small price to pay for a great life. But like, you think like, because it's so good and the money's good and life is good, that you're like, you feel guilty about feeling bad about that. But that's a weight that you carry. Like, people saying negative things about you, no matter how much money you have or how famous you are, like, that's something that you carry with you. That, like, you're gonna have to process. And to be like, it's fine because it's the internet, and people are gonna say it, like, oh, quit complaining, there's people doing like real work out there. It's like, it's not comparable. I'm not complaining that my life is tough because my job is hard. I'm not complaining at all. I'm saying it's like, it's difficult that
it's just when someone's telling you, you're ugly, or like, I mean, I've gotten
something negative.
Kill yourself. I'm sure you guys seen them before. It's like, not that. Every once in a while, you're like, ooh, that was unnecessary.
It's just
you know what I mean?
Because I'm a human being.
Because I'm someone that, like, I don't really let hate comments get to me. I mean, I went through a pretty, the whole Storm Goblin 21. My hate comments are terrible, terrible. But generally, they didn't really get to me. Like, if anything, it made me push harder, because it hurts more for me when like people I care about say things like that to me. Like, if you said that to me, or if you said that to me, or my family, my girlfriend, then I'm like, okay, then I'm a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if I let some random username 355, that's
part of the work that you do. You realize that these people are projecting, they're saying these things, and you have to like work through that. But to ignore that it's difficult, it's like the argument being that your job isn't that hard, so you should just shut up and do it. It's like, it's not, we're not, it's still a side. You're still a human. You still feel those things. You still have to like, whether your job is hard or not, you have to like process that.
And you've probably gotten it too, like with hate comments. Like, most of these people that do these hate comments or just talk shit online, whatever, when you see them in person, it's a completely different story. They'll be like, oh, like, hey, like, I'm actually really sorry I said that. Like, I'm actually a huge fan. It's like,
it's funny.
What? How did you tell me to kill myself?
I very rarely clap back, because I don't want to encourage people. Because oftentimes they're doing it to get a response.
That's all they want. All they want is a response.
I very rarely do, unless I have a really good comeback and I just shred them. But sometimes I don't. But then one day I had a shift in that. I was like, I'm going to put this guy in his place. Not because my comeback's so good, not because it's bothering me, but because I know I can take the heat. But he's going to comment on somebody else's profile that can't. And I want to shut that guy down. Don't ever fucking do that again. So I roast him so bad that they go into the DM, and he's like, dude, I'm so sorry. I don't know why I said that. Like, it's not like me. And it's like, think twice, man, before you enter that text. Like, because somebody on the other end, might be suffering, and like,
it could honestly push people to the edge.
You know what I mean? It's like, I can take it, so I'm like, just whatever, go. But I'm like, no, this guy's not going to stop at me. He's going to do this to somebody else. So I'm like, no, man, I'm going to put you
Mike's
in your
a fucking superhero. This guy's saving lives out here.
Yeah, man, don't
but I just don't know why people they just want a response, and they're taking their own insecurities, and they're hiding behind a screen.
You got to remember, there are people on the other side, and people forget.
People forget that.
You're famous, you're this, you're that. The internet, like, it dehumanizes you, and like, there's always somebody on the other side, like both the person texting and typing and the person receiving it.
Exactly.
So, like, come on, man, like, do better.
You got used to it. Social media definitely makes you have thick skin.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you're starting to learn a little bit because Steve's a little social media influencer.
I'm getting
now.
into it.
Getting back into
Mike this
it.
week, and I was like, yo,
he must be. He's gonna do a full-time influencer now. Have you got any hate comments?
I've gotten them, but I got used to it. Like even being on.
Because you used to run,
your
previous
content,
account, my content, other people's content.
But I think, he's right. Everyone has feelings.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel it. Like it's not an excuse to be like, oh, this is an easy job. It's like, no, you have feelings at the end of the day. It's something negative.
Yeah.
And if you're putting out something negative, what do you think, people are going to respond with? They're still going to feel that.
Yeah,
but
for sure. Before social media, because obviously people think like social media is not a job when it's a full-time fucking job.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What was your job prior to that? Did you have an actual job or no?
I was a freelance personal trainer.
Oh, really?
Oh, you're a trainer?
I didn't know you were a personal trainer.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Just for a bit, I hated it.
What gym? Really? Or just freelance?
I worked at Equinox for 2 weeks and quit. I was like, this is not for me. And then I started like freelance training my buddies who, they were they're in first year finance in New York, which is the hours are terrible, like 100-hour weeks, like back to back all nighters. And so they would pay me cash to just wake them up in the morning, like early, like 4:30, whatever, work them out. Just make sure they got there, make them some breakfast, and then just send them on their way. So I would like do that for multiple people and just get paid cash and like.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
I was like making meals for them. I was like meal prepping for them. Yeah.
So Mike actually knows how to work out. Yeah, he's not just a character. He knows the secret. Yeah.
I remember like studying for it when I was like I just graduated. My parents were like, "Why are you go get a job in film production?" I'm like, "No. Like if I spend all my time on set, I have no time to write.
Yeah.
I'm not going to progress by connections. Like it's not about like in this sense, not about who you know. It's about what you can fucking deliver.
100%.
And if I'm not writing scripts, I'm not going to be a writer.
Yeah.
And I can.
Damn, that's great. Scripts, so you always knew what you wanted. You always knew you wanted to be a writer. So do you see yourself writing TV movies?
That was the goal for a very long time.
Did it switch?
It switched. Yeah. I got pretty close to doing it and just had a bad experience with it, and I was like, you know what, maybe this isn't exactly the route I want. Like I do like the creative control I have on YouTube. Maybe this is my home and not just a launching pad. It's not completely ruled out. Like maybe I'll get back into it, but I've just found more of, I've done it for so long that like eventually you find different things that you like. Yeah.
What about acting? What if someone came to you for an acting job? Would you do it?
Maybe. I've considered it more recently, but I usually was like, I don't want to ever act in anything that I didn't write myself.
So write your own movie.
Yeah. So I was going to write my own movie. I was going to make my own TV show and act in it and all these things. BroScience or whatever. But now I'm like, I don't know. It could be cool. Could be a different thing for me. I'm covered in tattoos now, so it'd have to be pretty fucking specific.
Yeah. Get a little typecasted, but
that's fine though. I mean, it could be a fun role.
Yeah. That's crazy.
What about stand-up comedy? Would you ever consider that?
No, I thought about, like, people ask me all the time, and I thought about it before, but like, I could do it and I'd be good at it. Like, I think, I've done some live stuff before, but it's not the type of thing I want to do. It's not how I want to spend, my time, I guess, or like how it just seems stressful.
Yeah,
it seems like a lot of anxiety, and like, man, I give so much credit to these guys doing that.
No, it's a whole different beast of a thing. Yeah. I was hanging out with David Lucas, a comedian, and he was telling me, I went to his show, watched his set when we were hanging out afterwards. He was telling me that one set he was working on, he's been working on it for 4 years. Yeah. The same jokes, because it's all about just like perfecting it.
And like, I know what that's like having to memorize these things, and I'm like, yeah, like I could do it because I know how to write, I know how to deliver, but it's not the way I want to go. Like, I learned I like different things and dislike other things about comedy in general or about performing in general, and it just steered me away from that. But it could also be something that like maybe I try one day and I'm like, oh, I do really like this.
Well, you try one day, you fucking crush it, and you're like, oh,
I hope he tries it.
Yeah.
I feel like he's
I can see you doing stand-up, and you have a good look for it. I mean, you're just a good-looking guy in general.
Oh, thanks, man.
No, you really are. No, you are. This guy's good-looking as fuck. Crazy body, tattoos, the beard. I wish.
It wasn't always this way, okay? This has been a work in progress.
It's been 35 years.
Go back on the internet and see that.
No, when I was watching, I was doing my deep dive today, researching. I saw old videos with no tattoos, just a young Dom, just a young Mike, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, man, it's been a journey to be like, there's a vision of who I want to be, and I've been working on that every year of my life.
And just getting a little better every year.
Yeah, a little bit of everything, whether it's the physical look or, mental, career, whatever.
You seem like you have a super, like, obviously good head on your shoulders, but, like, you know what you want and you're willing to put the work in without complaining. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a lot of people complain they don't like working, but it seems like you're like, this is what I have to do, this is what I want, and this is the steps I'm going to take to do it, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes a while to get to that. You know, there's a lot of times when you're just like I've complained just like anybody else. Like, it fucking sucks. Things are unfair. But at the end of the day, when you've just relied on yourself for so long, you're like, there's nobody to complain to.
Yeah.
There's nobody to rely on but myself. If I want these things, it has to get done.
And at the end of the day,
nobody's going to feel bad. Nobody's going to, it's just you.
That's I'm huge on that. My girlfriend sometimes hates me for it because I'm someone that I'm always like, the world doesn't care. You know what I mean? Like, yes, your friends will care, your family, but for a little bit. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you.
Yeah.
So whether I'm in a shitty situation or not, it's up to me to get myself out of it. It's up to me to make more money. It's up to me to find the person to connect with. It's up to me to make another video. It's it always comes down to you. And it seems like you know exactly that.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah.
And it kind of is just you. Like, even in your content, it's like mostly just you and your content.
Yeah, I've been a one-man team for a very long time. We've expanded it now when it comes to Shell Corp. But yeah, I do a lot myself, and that is both good and bad. Like,
do you prefer doing that yourself? Because you said you're so like particular.
Yeah.
Or have you found that having a team is actually better?
Like
because
a balance.
Yeah.
Learning my limitations is good, and hiring people that can do those things. Like, I learned that I'm an accidental businessman, and I am not great at certain aspects of business, and I should hire the person who is for that.
Yeah.
To allow me to do what I am best at.
I'm glad.
So, sorry, I lost my train of thought.
God damn it, Steve.
Steve was like, "What are you saying over there?" Like mumbling.
I was like,
I think Steve wants to work with Shell Corp.
I'm just happy that you know that, because you struggled with that for so long.
Well, yeah, because I think it's a part of a trust issue too, where it's like you rely on people to do their job and they do it poorly, and you're like, all right, fuck, now I got to step in and do it. That's what I'm saying. The other thing is, like, I am also good at a lot of things like that I do. Like, I know I can do this. So if I hire somebody or give them the job and I can do it better than them, I'm like, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
And then I have to like go through different people to find that, and like that takes time. And then you're like, you know what, I can just do this myself. And you get very particular, and you're a perfectionist. And in some ways it yields great art and success. In other ways it really limits you. And I'm learning about where it's limiting to me, and like how to find the right people and trust right people to do their job. And also, like, if I can hire somebody to do this job, it does free me up to take over that job from somebody else. Where, like, I don't actually need you to do this. Like, I can do it myself because now I have the time and I'm good at this, and I will.
So is it hard for you to hire new people?
Yeah.
Yeah, like you're like super particular, huh?
It's just like,
do you have a hiring process to it, an internship? Like, how does that go?
It's another level of business you got to learn on the fly. Like, hiring is a whole new thing.
The trust aspect.
Yeah.
Right.
And no one teaches you these things when you're a YouTuber.
Yeah.
You don't learn about even going to job interviews. Like, I had one real job, like a corporate job. I was a writer's intern at ABC, and that was like my first actual.
ABC.
Yeah.
Seems pretty big.
It was for
That's huge.
daytime television.
Oh, okay.
No, it was cool. It was just different.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my first and only like actual like corporate job. So I don't even have experience being interviewed. I've been doing this since I graduated. Yeah. So like, I don't really know the inner workings of business, corporate structure. You just kind of like learn it. And so hiring people to manage and that have experience in that can help you. Even in the things that you're like, I got to hire somebody to learn how to hire people, but like, you just got to break the seal.
It's so much stuff.
It's also just hard. I mean, too, because it's probably like bringing on athletes and like bringing on like, assistants and stuff.
It's a lot of stuff.
Because it's hard because people can be good people. Like, just because you can't work together doesn't mean you're not a good person. It's just like, they have to be able to mingle, like to work perfectly with you and see your vision and see what you want. And it's hard to find, like, because I have like probably have one full-time guy. He's my editor and videographer, but it took a while to find that. But once you have it, I feel like it's better because it takes the stress off you in a certain way, and it lets you put more energy into something else. Because I fucking hate editing. So
I edit my BroScience.
Yeah, which is crazy. Cause, I mean, I'll be in the camera and I'll act all day long, but editing, I can't do it. So that's why.
But he's so good at editing too. Like,
you're good at editing, yeah.
Well, I got into filmmaking from editing, editing skateboarding videos.
Yeah.
So I enjoy editing to a degree. It's just like when it's.
Do you have a videographer?
Do I have one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, he just doesn't edit your stuff.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to edit my stuff.
Oh, okay.
Not when it comes to the BroScience. He'll edit
reels and stuff like that.
The reels for Shell Corp and the videos for Shell Corp, because that's a different style. Like, he is a phenomenal editor. I'm good at
because you know your comedy, your storytelling.
It's all about timing and storytelling.
The sound effects to write the. Which one I love is the. It's always the same thing. It's the boom, 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 boom. The gunshots. Yeah, it's so funny. I don't know why it gets me all the time.
It's call to action.
Yeah.
I just had this vision. I was like, I want the title card to have gunshots in it.
I was like, so funny.
That's it, yeah.
So how big's your team right now?
6 to 7.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's only just going to grow. 6 to 7 turns to 10 to 12, turns to 20 to 30.
Just the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's crazy.
Any plans for future projects, Shell Corp, anything else, businesses? You said tattoo shop. I know you have.
He has a protein gummies.
Yeah, the Gym Candy. Yeah, Gain gummies. So that.
I'm looking. I have a protein gummy company that I'm working with right now.
I've heard.
Yeah, you heard, right? We got to taste test them. See how they go.
Yeah, I actually have mine with me.
Do you?
Yeah,
how's that doing for you?
It's good. Like it's everything is still working out different formulas and flavors.
Oh, it's not finalized.
It's not finalized. No, they're for
sale.
sale.
Oh, so it hasn't launched yet.
For sale.
No, it's launched. It's for sale, but like we are still perfecting it.
Oh yeah, because you could always perfect it. Yeah. Exactly.
So because there's a lot of things you don't know when it comes to that type of product. But it's
how much protein per?
18 grams.
Ooh,
yeah,
it's pretty high.
18 grams.
Yeah. The one I'm with has 20.
I need some.
Yeah, no, I want to try. I do.
Yeah.
And do you still do your subs?
No, I stopped doing supplements.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was NAR Pump. How'd that do for you?
It did great. It just was like there's so many supplement companies, and it's an entire separate company to run besides clothing, and clothing was making more money for me.
Yeah.
Supplements cost a lot of money. They expire, so we didn't want to do that. But yeah, the protein gummy stuff I think is going to be really good for me because it's not me running the company myself. Like I invested in it and I'm a partner in it.
Got it.
So they're in charge of creating it and running the business, and it's the first thing I'm involved in.
You're
that I'm
like,
not involved in from the ground up.
Yeah.
Like,
so you're kind of like attached to it to promote it, blah, blah, that stuff. That's awesome.
I do help with like the marketing of the business and just like overall because I have experience in that. So it's good. It's my first time being involved in something like I said that I don't like have to run from the ground up.
Probably feels good to not run it from the ground up, right?
Yeah.
It's like, you show a little bit. It's like, the text you used to show to a meeting and then you leave.
It's great. Yeah,
That's great.
I need more of that.
So right now it's BroScience, obviously Dom Mazzetti, Shell Corp, Gym Candy.
Yep.
Am I missing anything?
I'm opening a tattoo
shop.
Yeah.
You guys a busy guy.
When is that happening? Or
we don't have a date yet, but it's still talking about.
Do you know how to tattoo?
No.
What is that? Do you want to learn how to tattoo or no?
No, I'm just gonna be like
an investor in it,
the marketing business
face
guy, like and content type of thing.
Yeah. Take a shirtless picture of you and put it on the front. I promise everyone's walking in that tattoo shop.
Dude, I just walk around and people are like, yo, where you get your tattoos? And I'm like, yo, Aaron, we just gotta open up a shop.
Yeah. Oh, what's his name on Instagram?
Aaron Tattooer.
I follow him for sure.
Yeah.
For sure folw him. And I don't know if it's. I don't know.
You met him. He used to come to the house.
Oh, I did meet him. He's been to the house.
Oh shit. Good person.
Yeah. I definitely follow him. Damn, I miss living together. It was looking fun.
Good times.
It was a great fucking year.
It was good. Yeah,
it was a good year. It was a good year.
It was fun. I wish we all hung out a little because I feel like we started hanging out. Like, say I lived there for 11 months. I say the last 7 to 10. That's when we started getting closer.
It's because we started doing more stuff.
Yeah, the spring and summer of 2021, absolutely the best.
Yeah.
It was good.
I'd love for those. Yeah, if I could go back and relive those, I would love to.
Yes.
Because he used to make this drink that would.
The mule.
Margarita. I know, but
the margarita. That's what it was.
Every time you made it, I was like, we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time tonight.
Yeah. So next time we all get together, you got to bring margaritas. I'll make steaks. Like some good old times. We gotta get Nadeem there too.
Yeah.
Nah, well, we'll see if we could get him there.
Nadeem's the most unreliable person in the world. Does Nadeem help you out at all with the videographer or anything?
No,
nothing.
No.
Okay, I thought he used to. No.
He used to. Yeah, and we're living in the same house. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, I think that was a great podcast. Thank you so much, Mike, for joining. Follow Mike on everything. Link down below. This guy's one of the busiest people I know, but also, and I can say this from a genuine standpoint, I look up to you in terms of like, you just do a lot, and you're just such a good head on your shoulders, and it motivates me to keep working because I see how hard you work, and I know it. So thank you for that.
For me, one of the best creatives.
Yeah, you're so creative. Yeah.
YouTube, clothing, like editing.
It's a lot.
It's a lot of stuff.
It's a lot, and you've been doing it for 12 years.
Feel good session.
This guy's a fucking OG on the internet, and I know you're not gonna go anywhere for a really long time. Yes. And then when's the next BroScience video?
That I don't know. The last one was like 2 weeks ago. Though, so cut me some slack.
Yeah,
we'll get it when we get it.
When we get it, guys, it'll be there. Yeah. But go check out Shell Corp and check out Mike on everything else. And thank you for tuning in to the Drop Set Podcast, episode 2. See you in the next one. Peace.